So you think you know He-Man, you know Skeletor, right? Do you know them before the cartoon? Yeah. It was a different story, man. All different. You're going to be like, what? No power of Grayskull? No Prince Adam? Yeah, we're breaking it down on Chronicles of Grayskull.
From the power of legend to the vault of Eternia, this is the Chronicles of Grayskull.
All right. So here we go. A long time ago, this is a mini comic. I think this is the first He-Man story. This is probably the first He-Man story ever. So let's take a look, listen, and see what's different. All right, here from the original mini comic, here is He-Man and the Power Sword.
A mighty figure stood at the edge of the jungle that had, until this day, always been his home. He-Man, the tribe's greatest warrior, waved his farewell. He might have preferred to stay, but he had a noble mission to accomplish.
Look at that, no Prince Adam. He-Man is an actual person.
Evil forces exist on our planet Eternia, He-Man told his people. They seek to control the legendary Castle Grayskull, a place of wonders. If we are to know a lasting peace, I must go out and battle those forces. Farewell.
So there you go. He-Man and his people. And He-Man decided to venture off to go protect Castle Grayskull. Maybe the sorcerers got to him. He-Man. And he's like, I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. I got no shoes. I gotta go.
The outside world had long been a mystery to He-Man's tribe, although they had heard the fantastic tales about the mysterious Castle Grayskull. He-Man was the first of his people to trudge these craggy cliffs and quake-torn valleys. His homeland was already in the distant mists when he heard the cry for help. Gazing into the valley, He-Man saw that his courage and jungle-bred strength were already needed. In a blur of bronze movement, He-Man leaped from the cliffside and onto his shaggy foe. His powerful fingers dug deeply into the monster's hide. But He-Man was not fighting the creature alone. He-Man glimpsed the woman as she gestured magically and attacked the creature with mystical bolts of force. She is a sorceress.
There you go. Look at our sorceress. Green sorceress.
Thought. But her magic hardly
I am green, He-Man. Green.
phased the animal. The same could not be said of He-Man's might. Defeated, the animal fled, while the sorceress regained her breath. Your strength, your courage, she said. Mark you as the legendary hero who is to inherit the treasures I have guarded all these years. They were made centuries before the Great Wars by Eternia's scientists.
Did you catch that? That is awesome. Look at all his weapons right there. That's how he got his shield, his axe, his harness, a sword.
Inside the ancient ruins, the sorceress gave He-Man the guarded
Ancient ruins. It's not even Castle Grayskull.
costumes and weapons. They will add to your strength. Use them wisely, especially in defense of Castle Grayskull.
Look at the sky sled. See the sky sled?
Riding in the strange vehicle, which was a combination battering ram, catapult, and space warp device. He-Man
Space warp device.
and set off again on his mission. A particular valley, still miles away from the castle, struck his fancy. This valley would serve as his new home and headquarters. Wearing the costume that gave him superhuman strength, He-Man went to work carving out his new home, using no tools other than the power in his fists. But even as He-Man constructed his dwelling, evil eyes were gazing upon Teela, the warrior goddess.
Stalker. Okay, so we got Teela, the warrior goddess, and we have the sorceress, who's green.
She watered her unicorn charger. There is none in all of Eternia as beautiful as she, grunted the ape-like beast man. I'm really starting to believe that she is a goddess. Soon she will be more than that, whispered his master Skeletor. Soon she will be my bride. But it was no simple matter
Skeletor got the hots for Teela.
to capture the warrior goddess. She fought like a demon, her body possessing the spirits of many ancestral champions. Only Skeletor's energy blade, after freezing her courageous steed, at long last shocked her unconscious. Carry her to Castle Grayskull, Skeletor commanded his underling, Beastman.
Look at Beastman. Look at the classic original Beastman. Look at him.
But be careful. I do not like having my bride to be damaged. By nightfall, Skeletor and Beastman had brought their sleeping captive to Castle Grayskull, a fortress.
All right, who do you have here? You got Merman, that's Skeletor. You got Beastman, you got Tila. Is that naked Stratos? And look, you got somebody up on the tower on Grayskull. I think that's Stratos.
A fortress so ancient that no one knew its origin. An eerie voice, that of the castle's all-present spirit, warned them, "Go back. The secrets and treasures of Grayskull are for no one to possess. Go away."
Get away from here.
Another warrior secretly watched as Skeletor defied the warning and forced open the castle's drawbridge. Entering the grim castle, Skeletor and his accomplice failed to notice the other warrior departing through the shadows in his heavily armed chariot. "I defy you, spirit of the castle!" shouted Skeletor. "Your many secrets shall be mine. I hold half of the mystic power sword. I shall soon possess the other half, which is hidden within your walls. Then I will have full power, and none of your deadly traps will stop me." "When I join both halves of the power sword together," exclaimed Skeletor, "the magic fires, created by ancient scientists and sorcerers, will blaze again." And he thought back. "Once I lived in another dimension, populated with others of my kind. But when the Great Wars opened a hole in the dimensional wall, I was thrown into this world. With the complete power sword, I shall reopen that hole and bring my people here to conquer this dimensional world."
Okay. There you go. Skeletor's from another world ended up on Eternia. Wants both of the swords to bring his people over and take over Eternia. Sounds like he's a hero for his planet.
After strapping the unconscious warrior goddess to a stone slab, Beastman searched, with animal-like cunning, through the castle. At last, he found an ancient scroll upon which had been drawn a map. The map, which seemed to have been drawn in blood, had many strange symbols which only Skeletor could understand. "They show the way to a fiery sword!" he shouted. Following the map, Skeletor led the way to a secret passage. He-Man was finishing his dwelling when he
Oh, look at Man at Arms. Look at him. Got a cape, got goggles on, he's styling.
saw the approaching chariot. "And what brings the famous Man-at-Arms to my humble house?" he asked sarcastically. Man-at-Arms, whose people were masters of all weapons, described what he had seen.
Man at Arms, whose peoples were masters of all weapons. The master race? What?
If Skeletor controls the castle, he might use its secrets to conquer Eternia, he said coldly. And I shudder to think what fate he has planned for the warrior goddess. "If we fight side by side," offered Man-at-Arms, "we can more easily defeat Skeletor and his henchmen." "You would be a worthy partner," said He-Man. "But if the threat is as great as you say, I have no time to waste getting to Castle Grayskull by wheels." And before Man-at-Arms could say another word, He-Man activated the Battle Ram Space Warp device.
Battle Ram Space Warp. I love that. Battle Ram Space Warp.
Moments later, He-Man was vanishing to reappear somewhere else. At the castle, meanwhile, Skeletor and Beastman had reached the end of the secret passageway and had found a rusty metal door. But as they touched the door, the spirit of the castle cursed them and unleashed its ghostly demons. Beastman's claws and fangs only went through the specters, but Skeletor's lightning blade quickly blasted them to nothingness. "Again I defeat you, spirit of the castle," rasped Skeletor. "Now, to seize your greatest treasure." Yet not even the brute strength of Beastman could break open the door. "Stand back, you ape," ordered Skeletor, as he proceeded to cut through the ancient door with his lightning blade as if it were melting butter. And even as the door gave way, a commotion could be heard from outside. "See what it is," commanded Skeletor. And Beastman loped obediently down the dark corridor. Outside the castle, He-Man was using his vehicle like a battering ram to try to gain entry. "He-Man!" snarled Beastman as he reached the castle's laser cannon and fired a deadly bolt toward his foe. But He-Man's force field garment easily repelled the blast. Is that the best you can do, you brainless gorilla? He-Man taunted. If so, I have nothing to worry about. Perhaps He-Man did not have to worry about the laser cannon penetrating his force field. He did not figure on Beastman choosing a new target. The vehicle, which was not protected by that barrier of force. As He-Man rolled out of the overturning vehicle, his costume's force field was accidentally switched off.
All right. his costume's force field was switched off. Nice.
Now to finish you off, growled Beastman, aiming the laser cannon at his seemingly helpless victim. Inside the tunnel, Skeletor saw the shiny object. Its broken blade seemed to beckon to him. He grasped it in his scaly hands, then eagerly placed the two halves of the ancient object together. He could feel the unbelievable energies of the sword as the blade burst into green fire. The restored power sword, he exclaimed. With this, I am invincible. There is nothing I cannot do. Nothing. Weapon in hand, he turned thirstily for battle. Before Beastman could make good his threat, his attack was interrupted by the timely appearance of Man-at-Arms. Firing his flame-throwing weapon, Man-at-Arms said, I'll keep him occupied, He-Man. Turning to the castle, He-Man pulled with all his mighty strength, taxing his natural power to the limit. Finally, he pulled down the creaking drawbridge. Flexing his muscles, he said, Now, to help Teela and stop the evil Skeletor. Throwing off his damaged force field costume, He-Man hurried down the castle elevator.
Whoa. Throwing off his damaged costume.
Finding Skeletor waiting for him. With a simple wave of the power sword, Skeletor brought to life many objects inside the castle and commanded them to attack his foe. Without his force field to protect him, He-Man fought off the barrage of objects as best he could. But the objects, energized by the power sword, continued coming. This is only the beginning, boasted Skeletor. But Skeletor's moment of triumph was abruptly ended as a beautiful figure appeared before him, glowing green like the energies of the power sword. You have abused the power sword, the sorceress said. And with magical gestures, she removed the power sword from Skeletor's hands.
You think this sorceress has the same voice? You've abused the power sword.
Splitting it again into halves. Immediately, the objects attacking He-Man dropped lifelessly to the floor. A moment later, the sorceress vanished. Having lost his most powerful weapon, Skeletor fled to the roof of the castle, where Beastman and Man-at-Arms were already engaged in mortal combat. He-Man saw an awakened Teela tear herself free of her bonds. Then both warriors rushed up the castle's elevator. Soon they were hotly engaged in the rooftop battle. Hopelessly outnumbered, Skeletor and Beastman both pleaded, "Mercy!" With that plea, the battle ended. Together, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela watched their defeated foes flee toward the horizon. Then, seeing an apparition below, they climbed down from the roof of the castle. "From now on," said the sorceress, "only the halves of the power sword, inserted into this enchanted lock, will open the castle's drawbridge. And, to keep this castle from again falling into evil hands, I shall hide both halves in secret places." Saying that, she...
There you go. You see that? Sorceress takes the two halves and hides them. And that's how we get that.
vanished again in a green cloud. "You truly are the masters of the universe who are destined to protect my secrets from evil forces," said the spirit of the castle. "You should have at least some small reward." That reward came in the form of a snow-white unicorn that galloped over the hill, returning to his mistress. "Do you think that is the last of those two, or the power sword?" asked Man-at-Arms. "I doubt it," answered He-Man. But as he looked toward the rising sun, it seemed to be a good omen for Eternia and the masters of the universe.
There you go, folks. That is He-Man and the Power Sword off of the first mini comic. I think this is the first He-Man story. Little different, huh? What do you think? How do you like your He-Man? You like him as a barbarian or you like him as a Prince Adam? So very interesting, very interesting. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for hanging out. Like always, say hello, and I'll get back to you shortly. Like and subscribe. My name is George. You've been watching the 757 Hustle Show, and always remember. Okay.